Half of China's cities are sinking, putting most of the country's urban population at risk. Major cities across eastern China, we know that we recently had a Taiwan 7.3 magnitude earthquake, so this is in that area. Most cities across eastern China are sinking due to groundwater extraction and the weight of the buildings, potentially exposing millions of people to flooding and damage in the next 100 years. And this is an image of Beijing. You can see what the cities look like. Now, nearly half of China's major cities are sinking due to groundwater extraction, and the sheer weight of these urban buildings and infrastructure, the new study says, the affected cities, which include Beijing and Tianjin, are concentrated in the eastern part of the country and along the coast. Combined with the sea level rise, falling cities could expose around 10% of China's coastal population, between 55 and 128 million people, to flooding and irreparable damage by the year 2120. For the study, published Thursday, April 18 in the journal Science, researchers measured land subsidence in every Chinese city with a population of more than 2 million people over the period from 2015 to 2022. Of the 82 cities they examined, 45% are sinking by more than 0.1 inches, that's 3 millimeters a year, with 16% falling by more than 0.4 inches, that's 10 millimeters a year. So that's pretty fast. These major cities are home to 3/4 of China's urban population, which totaled 920 million people in 2020, the largest of any country in the world, according to the study. The subsidence appears to be associated with a range of factors such as groundwater withdrawal and the weight of the buildings, the researchers said in their study. High-rise buildings are sprouting up, road systems are expanding, and groundwater is being used all at a rapid pace. So while it was already known that China's cities are subsiding, the study provides a first snapshot of the problem on a national scale. The researchers used data from the Sentinel-1 satellite, which measures vertical changes in Earth's surface with interferometric synthetic aperture radar, INSAR for short, and combined these land motion results with groundwater assessments from monitoring wells and building weight data. In addition to the national pattern of the city subsidence, we identified several natural and human factors that were associated with city subsidence, the team said. Natural factors include the geological setting of each city and the depth of the bedrock, which influenced the amount of weight the ground could hold up without sinking. Now, the researchers found a strong link between sinking cities and groundwater loss, which leaves empty pore space in the crust that becomes compacted as weight piles on above. Most of the groundwater changes were anthropogenetic, the researchers said, with natural rainfall patterns making up for just 12% of the variation. Groundwater extraction is causing cities to sink worldwide, including on the U.S. East Coast. Other factors contributing to subsidence were the urban transportation networks, with trains adding to the weight and producing vibrations, as well as hydrocarbon extraction and mining, which both create empty pockets in the ground that eventually collapse and compact. But the key to addressing China's city subsidence would lie in the long-term sustained control of groundwater extraction, the researchers emphasize. Subsidence threatens infrastructure and people by destabilizing the fissuring the ground, cracking the ground, and causing cracks and sinkholes, of course, and by increasing the risk of floods, according to the study. Sinking cities on China's east coast could soon drop below sea level, with up to 26% of the countries projected to deflate below the threshold in the next 100 years. Can you imagine? Currently, around 6% of Chinese land sits below sea level. Subsidence jeopardizes the structural integrity of buildings and critical infrastructure, and exacerbates the impacts of climate change in terms of flooding, particularly in coastal cities where it reinforces sea level rise, Robert Nichols said. He's professor of climate adaptation, University of East Anglia in the UK. Nichols agreed that the study authors that show the groundwater extraction could stave off subsidence as it has previously done in Tokyo. Tokyo subsided around the port area up to 15 meters at 5 meters at 16.4 feet in the 20th century. Nichols said that in the 1970s, authorities provided good piped water from other areas, and they also had a law saying you will not use well water and essentially stop the subsidence. This is by Satya Par on Live Science. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.